I just had my hands up for some reason, and I felt really awkward about it. Finally, Friday. What a hell of a week that was. I actually hurt my back yesterday at work, so if you see me like shifting around a lot, just try to ignore it. I apologize. I'll try to keep it to a minimum. But yeah, really kind of messed my back up. And then on top of that, I definitely don't have enough booze. I thought I had more. So this is just going to be a real interesting show overall. But we have both Nathan and Nicole waiting, so I'm not going to keep flapping my gums any longer. We're just going to go right into this. It's Friday night, so you know what that means. There we are.
Hello.
How's it going, guys?
Good. How are you?
Good. Nathan, how you doing?
Good. I'm good.
All right. So cheers, guys. I forgot to do that before I hit my video. So
cheers. Pete, this is for you.
We know how much he loves that fireball.
So good.
All right. So Nicole, you've already been on once before, but Nathan, you have not. So if you want to, you're more than welcome to introduce yourself in a few words. If you want to keep it short, we'll get to pretty much everything at some point during the podcast anyway. So floor is yours.
All I can say is if you want to check out Ultramel stuff, this is the place to look. Other than that, let's get on with it.
All right, cool. I like it. Keep it nice and short and sweet, and it keeps all my questions relevant. That's the most important part, because I've had a few people that'll just sort of keep going. It was like, well, that's a question. That's another question.
Yeah.
You're going to start telling people what not to talk about right off the bat? Hindsight, right?
I was checking back a couple episodes today and seeing a couple people that did that. So I was like, I'll just wait.
All right, man. Well, welcome, both of you. Hope you've had at least better week than I've had.
Your cat.
I told you, like, literally, like 10 minutes before I went live.
Did you lock him out or?
No, she's in the kitchen.
Oh,
She's not an outside cat. I could put her anywhere in my apartment and you would hear her just as loud as that, unfortunately.
That's awesome.
She's just a dick. That's fine. We're going to go right into this. And I mean, Nicole, you've actually answered this prior. You've been on a couple now, actually, haven't you?
Yeah.
So, Nathan.
Why not?
You know what? No, we're going to make Nicole answer some stuff too. But Nathan, how and when did you get into the hobby?
I think it was honestly my first snake that I got was Christmas 2017. It was a cool idea, and then I got a tank with a ball python and, that whole good, lovely spiel. And then all of a sudden I started researching things, and then Tyler Blanchard got me to join the Southern Ontario Herp Society group. And then I started seeing all these morphs and all this crazy stuff, and I started getting into everything. And then made a couple really bad investments. So then I picked up some Ultramel stuff and kind of finally found my niche, I guess.
Yeah, we went through some.
It was a while back.
Yeah, we went through some rough years kind of together there, but it seems like you found your way. So, 21st Century Reptiles, Team Ultramel. You know what? I would agree with that. Funny enough, Nick and I, other than one animal at Billy's, don't have anything Ultramel. We have one animal in our collection. We actually got it from Nathan, but you didn't make it, right? This is what I
made the Bongo.
The Bongo Mystic. You made that?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense as to why the thing's so massive. What am I thinking of then? What didn't you make that I got off of you?
That would be the hypo mahogany stuff.
Oh, right. I apologize. Okay, so what I was about to say just goes out the window. So that Bongo Mystic, what's funny is I knew nothing about Bongo. And when me and you were talking about us picking it up, I even told you, I was like, I don't know shit about it. And, every once in a blue moon, I am not a sole proprietorship. I am part of a partnership in this. And I kind of threw it over to Nick, and I was like, hey, Nathan's got this really fucking cool animal that he's putting up. And Nick, for some reason, and I have no idea why, but he was just like, we got to get it. Like, I want it. I didn't even know he knew what Ultra.
It's a really cool looking animal, too.
I didn't know he knew what Bongo was at the time, though. Like, I had no idea. So we ended up picking up the Bongo Mystic Head Ultramel from you. And I want to say it was like a month later, we bought the Ultramel Hypopide with Billy.
Yeah. It wasn't long after. It worked out perfect.
But like,
you end up having something just powerful as hell for her.
The weirdest thing is, though, I've yet to pick up another animal for that project. Like, for some reason, that animal, like, I'm waiting for that one to really. I want those to be the first Ultramels I ever make from her, right? But I'm like in love with this animal. It's grown to be easily one of the favorites in our collection. And Nicole, I have another one from you that is also the same. So I'm not just pumping up Nathan here.
I have a question though about that. Are you going to breed her to the hypo Ultramel Pied male?
So that was the original plan, and now there are some other options that have come up, but I think that's the way we're still going to go for her first year, only because it's incredibly hard to pass up essentially a Bongo Ultramel double het hypopide, especially if I can hit a male, because we're going to have a lot of hypopide head ultra stuff coming from that male as well that we're going to be holding back. So I think so. A couple people have offered, and I've inquired. Like, I don't have any other Ultramel stuff,
right?
But I know a lot of people that do, and some people have been like, "Dude, that's a nice animal. Like, would you wanna?" And I'm thinking about it. But like, I don't think there would be another Bongo Ultramel doublehead hypopide in the world if that was hatched, right? So
Yeah,
it's tough.
it'd be pretty good project.
Yeah, and I don't know. I like all of it so far. Like all the pieces separately, I've liked. So a Bongo,
The Super Bongo stuff is untouched.
Yeah, that's true.
There's so much to do with the Super still.
I need to, since having her, obviously, I've looked a lot more into Bongo, and I'm convinced we need it in our clown stuff. I'm really hoping Foster has some more, either this year or early next year. Yeah, you know what? I like Bongo.
He just had a clutch.
What's that?
He just had a clutch from what I just seen, so that should work out.
The thing is, Bongo is pretty much untouched with most recessives at this point, though, right? Like,
just really clown, a lot of clown, but other than that,
yeah, but there's not a lot of it out there for basically anything else. I don't think I've seen even like a.
I'm sure hypo would be nice.
Yeah, hypo. I haven't seen like a lavender Bongo. I imagine that would be pretty cool, or toffee, or whatever one of those you want to pick.
Corey Woods has hypo versions.
Does he?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah.
I tried to grab a couple last year, and he was like, "No, I'm going to hold them back. I need these."
Doesn't hurt to ask.
I always ask. Always.
It's the Bongo on its own is a really good project, and like it's not for any reason other than just bad luck, I guess, that we haven't ended up with more Bongo. But for the Ultramel stuff, like I just happen to be so in love with that one animal. I'm dead set on that snake making us our first Ultramel before we like really head into it. I don't know why I've decided that. We seem to make these arbitrary goals for ourselves. It's just like as heavy as we are in a clown pied, I will not buy a clown pied.
That's what makes it fun, though.
What's that? I agree, but like I've been offered like a sizable female clown pied for probably less money than I should have been offered it, and I turned it down just because, like, my first goal when coming back into the hobby was to make my own, right? And since then, we've made dreamsicles, and like I could be making some VPIs and anti-clowns in a few weeks. But clown pied like was my first big goal that I just arbitrarily set for myself. And for some reason, this snake that I got from Nathan, like, what's weird is when I got it, I wasn't even that excited about it. Nick was stoked on it. And then we got it, and he had no space at his place, so I had to bring it back to my place and grow it up. And I just, dude,
yeah, sometimes they do that.
Ate like a dream. I fell in love with it. It's a beautiful animal too, and that paradox on its head just got brighter and brighter too. It's such a cool animal, and I just, for some reason, I've now decided that that's got to be our first visual Ultramel. It has to come from that animal. And as much as I would have liked to have beefed up our Ultramel stock before now, it probably was a good idea that I didn't, just because we're already so many different directions right now as is.
Yeah,
It'd
be like that.
But I feel like that helped me at least push off that part of like the temptation of buying shit for a little while, which is nice.
It's hard. It's
but
hard.
Anyway, I think this is a real roundabout way of saying Nathan's got some
love
really cool
Ultramel
shit.
Oh yeah,
just a little bit.
Only a little.
Okay, so you already kind of touched on this with the other question, and I should probably word these a little bit differently, just to avoid some overlap. But Nicole, for anybody catching this live that perhaps hasn't seen you on any of the other ones, do you want to answer this one?
Yeah, sure. So when it was 2009, when I got my first ball python, I worked at a pet store. They had a ball python there and named Jake, and absolutely fell in love with caring for him and just started, rabbit hole of Google, like ball pythons. I started seeing the morphs, and right away I was hooked. So again, tank, all that. My first was a pastel male, and it just ballooned from there.
That's amazing. So at this point, you must be one of the sort of longest hanging into the hobby breeders in Canada, at least, right? Like there's there's the few that obviously everybody's very well aware of. Like
Yeah.
Mandic's been doing this forever.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't actually know when Billy started.
Yeah,
I want to say it was just a little bit before you, though. Like, not even by that much.
yeah.
But realistically, like, there's those few guys that everybody knows, like Corey. Obviously, Corey's been doing it for a while. But, like, other than that, I don't know of anybody that would kind of be doing this longer than you, like, north of the border.
Yeah,
So,
it's been a hot minute.
but, like, with that comes a bit of notoriety. Obviously, like, at least some people would like to say that your name holds some value.
I would hope so.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and it's a really cool thing to see, because how long ago was it that you were doing YouTube before you like just started redoing it? Like, when did you start doing that the first time?
I think 2011, I think, was my first video. And then I did it for a couple years and then stopped for up until last year.
Sorry, Peter too. That was my bad. I really should have said Peter's name too. But what's crazy is like you have
Towers.
What's that?
Chris Towers.
Chris Towers.
I didn't think he had been in that long. How long has he been doing it?
Almost 20 years.
Oh, wow.
I believe he told me 2002 he picked up his first breeding pair.
Holy crap. I had no idea. I had no
this year will be
idea.
20.
Wow.
He just
there you guys go.
Keeps quiet a
Great
lot of the
super
time.
Chat. Thanks, Pete. Yeah, he is.
I think that deserves another sip of Pete's favorite drink. Dude, this is my first drink. Other than that, I've just had a really long day, a really long week, and I have been, let's say, medicating myself because my back's been painful for the majority of the day. My back's been painful. My back's hurt.
We get it. We get it.
But I'm just proving his point more. It's not helping. All right. So, Nathan, jumping back to you. Origin of your business name.
That's an easy one. Nobody can ever normally say my last name properly. And when I put a sundial in the picture, it clicked for a lot of people. And they were like, oh, it makes sense now. I mean, there was a couple people, and I'm sorry to throw him under the bus, but the first time Billy seen it, he still said it wrong. And I was like, no, dude, look, the sundial, like dial. And he was like, oh, shit. Yeah, there's a couple people that didn't get it, but yeah, it helped people say it correctly for the first time.
If I wouldn't have known you and like asked you in person, I would have thought it was like Dale.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get
I 100% would.
Dale, Deyle, Doyle. I get so many different ones, and it's like that's why I just threw the sundial in the logo.
Yeah, no, but it actually worked out great because you ended up getting to play off your last name. But it also then lets people know how to properly say it. Like it's kind of a cool like double thing you got going on there. I really liked it.
It helped. It helped a lot.
Okay, we're just gonna jump right.
I need to get it revamped though.
What, like the actual name or the logo?
No, like just the logo itself. It was kind of like last minute slapped together. I think I can get it done a little bit better for sure. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it too because my buddy just did it for me. So
nice.
Eventually, yeah. That's what my better half brought up tonight. It was like, well, you should, make some t-shirts for yourself so you can wear that instead of wearing someone else's. So I got a Powerline shirt on.
Nice.
Powerline Reptiles. I love their shirts,
nice.
man.
I'm repping Morph Mechanics tonight.
That's awesome.
I didn't wear anyone's shirt. I'm
Come
more
on,
of a person.
At least you wore Ash shirt. That works.
Yeah, right?
Get kicked off YouTube right quick.
Right.
Yeah, that would not last long. We would not have gotten this far. So Nathan, what's the reason you do this?
It started out that this was just a simple hobby, and then life changed a whole bunch, and now this is my main thing. This is what I do for a living now. So I took it from just small hobby, do what I want, to I'm going to invest in some actual valuable animals and try to do some cool shit. It took a while to get where I wanted to be, but
Awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. And it's really cool because, like, as much as you have your Instagram page and all that kind of stuff, you're not overly active on social media, right? Like,
no, I'm trying, but
no, absolutely.
I'm not the most social. No, I know I'm not the most social person. So
I feel that.
But what's kind of cool is, like, unless you've kind of seen you and I interacting, or unless we know sort of mutual people, like, other than me trying to blow you up on Instagram all the time, like, you wouldn't really know that we know each other, because you're not, like, when was the last time you showed your face other than at an expo in this hobby?
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, I don't know. It was probably when my better half shared a picture of the family and tagged me in it, to be completely honest.
But
Yeah,
what
it's
I'm
not
getting at
something
is, like,
that
yeah, you're like Nicole too. This is kind of the cool thing about having this particular show. You two are probably two of the people I talk to about this hobby the most. Like, Nicole and I randomly just, like, pictures.
Yep.
No,
Always.
no words, nothing, and we just, like, wait, see what the other one says, and then we're like, nope, this is why I sent it. But honestly, like, you and I, especially during probably some of the shittiest times in the hobby either of us have experienced, like, we've especially, well, I shouldn't say especially, it's basically been since we met, but, like, we talk, like, if it's not every day, it's got to be at the very minimum every other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've seen you kind of deal with the same shit that we're dealing with, and it's usually at the same time, fucking bum clutches, or fucking just getting destroyed by sex odds, or, you know what I mean? Like, and it always seems like,
Oh God.
for some
Yeah,
reason,
don't say that.
are running a little bit parallel, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, it always seems like when you get a win, then I'll get a win, and then something bad will happen to me, and then you'll be like, "Oh yeah, but guess what?"
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
Start off the season with slugs again, and then hit a bunch of males. It's like, oh, this is deja vu. Let's do this again.
Yeah, I really, really, really hope that my contribution to that is me starting the up climb. But truth be told, like, we've kind of been there to talk each other through the good and bad for quite a while. And up until now, anyone that wasn't a Southern Ontario, basically, like, ball python person, wouldn't have even known who you were, what you look like.
No.
You have, but what I'm trying to get at is you have a lot of knowledge, and it's I don't want to say criminal. That's a little too harsh. It's something that definitely should be shared, because especially recently, you and I have been talking about. I'm going to put this very gently, so you don't have to deal with the aftermath from it. Trying to help people.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes.
100%. And the thing is, like, I know you know your shit because I know you, right? And I'm very aware that you can help people. So it's been very almost amusing to me to sort of watch somebody take your mentorship and your education and kind of just shit on it. And I mean, it's been funny because I know they're shooting themselves in the foot, not because it's a slight against you. Like, they're basically going against all the advice you gave them, which would have helped, and instead just decided
you can't make people do anything, though, right? That's the hard part. Is you can help so much, but you can't make anybody do anything. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
The only thing that I want to learn from it, I can't let it discourage me for future opportunities like that. Like I still need to be able to help someone else in the future and not let this get me down type thing.
And this is actually a really good sort of talking point to just stick on for a second, because I wanted to ask Nicole about this. Nicole, have you ever had somebody that you've been trying to help out, or you mentored, or whatever kind of terminology or wording you want to use, that has just at every turn kind of openly continued to ask you for your advice and
then ignored it every time,
ask you and bother you, and then essentially go and do the opposite, and then you have to deal with their bullshit from not listening, even though had they listened you wouldn't have to deal with it.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely.
So it's really tough, because we kind of put ourselves in a position where like you can only be nice about trying to help someone so much before you almost have to, I don't want to say be mean to anybody, but like you kind of have to cut ties, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and I don't mean like be like, hey, fuck off, never talk to me again. But you kind of have to be like, hey, listen, like, if you want to do your thing, that's fine, but like you gotta sort of move on and kind of do it on your own, right? And it's a really tough bridge to cross, because the first time I had to do it, unfortunately, it was somebody that I was kind of friends with. So the pain of watching it happen over and over again, and it was very similar to kind of what you're experiencing, Nathan. It just gets to be a lot, because like you're investing your time to try to do your best by them, and you're just actively watching someone like basically say like fuck you, but then they keep coming back.
I mean, I've had to be in the spot to make the mistakes to learn too, though. So I guess some people learn different ways, right? Some people learn by listening, other people learn by trying and not getting the results they wanted, I guess.
But that's totally fine though. Like if there's people out there that want to get their knowledge by experience and by making their own mistakes, and by all the power to them. But he got mad at me for leaving that up.
Yeah, I saw that.
But
what bugs me about that is the people that don't really learn, though. They just keep neglecting their animals and buying more and wondering why nothing's working out, you know? That's a big pet peeve for me.
And that the same thing happened with me, and it was unfortunately with somebody that I thought was a friend. I didn't really get to see their collection ever. Like they would obviously send me pictures of their animals, whether in hand or whatever, but like I never actually saw their place or kind of how things were kept. And that was, weirdly enough that you bring that up, Nicole, that was kind of my cutting off point, where I was trying to help this person so much, and finally finally I was like, okay, I don't know why you're having all these issues. I'm gonna come take a look. And they had to live between like me and you, Nicole. Like it wasn't a short drive.
Oh, yeah.
Like it wasn't far by any means, but it was further than I probably should have had to go just to look at somebody's collection. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like the whole thing was just in disarray. They were using like a combination of like aspen chips and aspen shavings, and they wouldn't use anything else because they heard that a ball python choked on cocoa once.
Oh my god.
Every single animal had stuck shed. And this was not the middle of winter with an oil heater running, by the way. This is fucking like July, when humidity was so fucking high here that it was. Anyway, seeing that unfortunately broke my heart, and I had to take myself out of the situation. And it's heartbreaking. Like,
yeah, I recently lost someone who I thought was a friend for almost the same reason. I ended up refusing to sell them a snake, and it kind of blew up from there, unfortunately. But I can't knowingly, sell an animal in a condition I know it's not good. But it happens, That's what it's life.
That's actually a good topic to kind of stick on for a second, because it's not brought up a lot. How often would you say you, and this will be to both of you, Nathan, so this is coming to you. How often would you say that you decline a sale?
Very rarely. I usually don't have a reason to, right?
Mhm.
It's going to sound really bad, but ignorance can be bliss sometimes. I do make sure that, if they ask questions, I'll 100% help them. I do assume that my animals are going to go to a good home when people inquire about them. I'm always open to ask questions. And if I know it's not a good home, I won't sell the animal. I've very rarely had to refuse a sale. I think that might have been the only one I've refused that I remember. But
I,
most people are they're willing to change, and a lot of the times when people come back, they're like, hey, it's not eating, or it had a bad shed, and I'll help them, right? So most people are willing to learn, and that's good enough for me.
it's actually kind of cool that you brought that up, because I have a couple friends that I sold their first snake ever to, and they ended up having some issues. And because they came back to me, and because we ended up talking more, they actually became friends of mine that were like outside
Yeah,
of the hobby, like they were local
yeah, exactly.
friends.
Yeah.
And had they not come back to me, that conversation would have never continued.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it was like that's happened a few times. It's been really cool, and I like there's been a whole bunch of connections I wasn't aware of. Like one of those people ended up being related to my ex-wife when I was still with her, which was really cool. Like we
Small
had no
world.
idea. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I've run into some people like that. It's like, do I know you from somewhere? Oh yeah, my brother, sisters, whatever. you know
Absolutely. But yeah, that like this hobby is just it's wild like that, right? Like it brings
yeah,
people together, and then you find these connections you never expect to have.
yeah,
But
exactly.
Nathan, same question to you. Have you ever declined a sale, and if so, why? And if you haven't, what would cause you to?
I actually had one time where I met someone and it was off of a Kijiji sale, and it was an interesting time. So I showed up. He wanted 2 ball pythons off of me, and Chris knows. Okay, so I buy, like, instead of buying the clear plastic containers, I buy the restaurant containers that
Yeah.
I put holes in, and I brought the 2 snakes in the restaurant containers. And when I went to hand them to the guy, he looked at me and he said, "So this is what they live in, right?"
Oh no.
And I had to just be like, "I am sorry, but I cannot let you take these animals." I was like, "I will not do this." I'm like, "If you want to get a hold of me in a week from now when you have a complete setup ready for them, 2 different setups, not one, if you're willing to do that for me, we can do this business again." But
Right.
no, they do not live in this. And like, it said in the, like, it didn't say anywhere in the ad that they came with, a whole enclosure or anything. So like, I was blown away because I'd never had anybody say something like that to me. When I showed up, I was expecting, the typical response that I get. And he was just like, "Is that what they live in?" Immediately, I
Yeah,
was like,
that's
"No,
horrible.
no." I got to walk away. That's the
Yeah.
only time so far that I've had to refuse a sale, because I was just like, "No, I can't do that."
So that said, Nicole, do you use Kijiji? And for people in the States watching, it's our version of Craigslist. Do you use Kijiji at all, ever?
I used to. If within the past 2 years I've made one ad, and it's not worth it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
No, Morph Market once since Morph Market really started booming in the last couple of years, it's just not worth it. If someone
Yeah, it
asks, I just
was.
send them the Morph Market link, and you know,
Yeah, it was.
Would
That was
really make you
almost a year and a
go ahead.
half, 2 years ago. So it was about around that time too. Yeah, that's when I stopped. Like, there was too
yeah,
many people all at once just messaging with ridiculous stuff, or like, "Do you want to trade for a Barbie doll?" Like,
yeah,
no, no, I've had enough.
yeah,
I
yeah.
got the best one. Nicole, you might have seen this in the Discord. By the
Discord,
way, shameless plug for the Discord. Reptile War Discord's amazing.
join it.
Um, but the sales fails page. I don't know if you've been on there since I
Oh yeah, I
made
read
it.
everything.
Okay, so the last Kijiji ad I made, I have a male spider double head double head TG pie, 50% at hypo. I was like, all right, you know what? I don't want to wholesale this thing. I'll throw it in for $150. See if anybody bites.
Yeah,
The first reply I got was somebody offering me a brick of hash.
yeah.
And I was like, well, done with Kijiji now.
That was 2 weeks ago for me too. Literally the same thing. Do you want some hash? And my
The guy's
response
asking
was,
everyone.
yeah, Kijiji hash. That I put that question mark, and he never replied.
I had
Because he
to,
knew it
I
was
asked him how
trash.
much, and he never got back to me. Like, if he made me a decent enough offer, like maybe.
Weird. He's probably just trolling then, just messaging everybody.
No,
It
this
was probably just an internet picture of hash.
Yeah.
All right, guys. As always, anybody has any questions for either Nicole or Nathan? Questions in the chat. I'll throw them up.
Yeah,
That
make it
said,
interesting.
everybody knows that you're an Ultramel guy, Nathan. What else are you working with? What else are you working on?
Sentinel paint stuff. That stuff is the new thing that I'm loving up lately. I'm trying real hard for some stuff for that project. I made my first Ultramel Sentinel double hats. That was really cool. Normally I, make all males, so hitting 2 females was awesome. What else? The Stranger Ultramel stuff. Or hats for now.
Yeah,
I'm not
so
looking to-
that's something else we should touch on. You're one of the other few Canadians that has a stranger right now. I think there's like 9 of us now. Like there's a few of us now for sure.
8 or 9, yeah.
Yeah. And I know Nicole is just waiting for me to make something. So, but yeah, so you brought Stranger up for yourself, and now you're kind of planning to go a different direction with it than most people are going, because most strangers, if not all, that are out there right now are either het or plus het clowns. So most people, including myself, because I love clown, are just pouring their Stranger into the clown stuff. And
I mean, mine is
instead.
Yeah, mine is 66% het clown, but it isn't my first option to prove that out first. I'm definitely Ultramel's first, and then I actually have him locked with a pied female right now, just because she had huge follicles, and why not? And then after that,
taking one of those.
Depending if my females are ready or not, I might throw him to a paint female. It depends really what other males get ready, because I have a GHI het paint that's super close. Like he's 550 grams. I just haven't tried to pair him or anything yet. I like my males to be a bit bigger, so I'm just waiting.
And
we'll see what happens.
And we are planning on trying to prove out that pos het this year. So I'm actually going to be sending Nathan a clown female, only because our stranger cannot go to that many animals without dying. So we have no plans for a particular animal. And you know what? Stranger clowns are just awesome. They're just really cool looking. So
it would be better to know too, just so like if people have that 50% pos het in there, it can help them for a lot of projects.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not only that too, right? Like even if he doesn't prove out, then at least at least you're not wasting your time telling people, oh, he's 66% he might prove out. Like, then you know what he is. And honestly, making more Stranger 100% het clowns, like neither of us are going to complain about that.
Yeah, right? That's a worst case scenario. Okay, cool.
Exactly. So, I think the Stranger project's really cool. But we're both kind of just dipping our toes in that, right? Like neither of us have hatched a thing. Me, just because I'm the most unlucky fucking human on the planet. And you, because your male just got the size. So you should be seeing the results of that shortly. But
I mean, who knows? It could not work out early in the season. Like I might not get a clutch from him till later in the season because he is young and just starting out.
Well, sorry. What I mean is, at least he's now locking for you. He's the younger male. He's doing his thing. He's fucking rocking. And I mean, you can't ask for much more than that. And if you have some complications later on, that's something you have to deal with. But looking at it from the best case scenario, like you have this guy going probably at the best possible time for you, right? Because now if any of them take, even one of your pairings take with him, you're basically your head. Yeah,
and that's where, like, honestly, I didn't plan on him even locking till late this season, maybe even next year. So if the Ultramel girls that I pair him with early in the season go, I'll be that much further ahead because maybe for later next year his sons could go. So
nice.
Okay. Before I let Nathan answer this, Nicole, do you have any Ultramel?
No Ultramel.
Okay, so this is all Nathan for now, unless you want to hear about my very basic plans that I've already talked about once in this podcast. What
I'll
are
bring
your
this up
directions with Ultramel?
too. I got lots of different directions with Ultramel, but I do not pick a team, and I'll say that out loud because I love Monarch just as much, and I don't think there should be a this versus this. They're totally different.
Agree.
They're
Thank
different.
you.
I love them
Yep.
both. I can't
Yeah,
wait.
they're allowed to be close. Like,
Oh yeah,
it doesn't have
That's
to be
like
a fucking
saying-
competition, guys.
Right?
that's like looking at an albino and a lav and being like, "It's the same, guys." No,
yeah,
sorry.
exactly.
Sorry, it's not. But I have
It's not?
okay. So right now, I'm working on the acid Ultramel stuff. I have spot nose pastel GHI hypo Ultramel stuff in the works. There's so much different stuff. Honestly, I have so many genes that there's not. Okay, I'll put it this way. The easier way to put it, there's not many genes I haven't got into Ultramel yet. The ones that I haven't
Nice.
got in yet, they're coming.
You gotta get Hurricane in there.
I have Trick. It's coming.
There you go.
So I have Trick coming. I have Mahogany coming this year.
Nice.
There's a few others that I've just been working away on. Oh, Chocolate. Chocolate is coming too.
Yes.
I got that coming. So I right now she's at 20 millimeters. I paired Super Pastel, Super Chocolate to a Cinnamon Pinstripe Ultramel. So I keep having this issue with the Pinstripe Ultramel or Pinstripe Head Ultramel combos where when I stick it with all the darker stuff, it's hard to tell everything apart.
Yeah.
So I decided to stick it with a double super so I know exactly what's in every one of them.
Yeah.
That was the easiest way
That's
for
a
me
smart way around a very complex problem.
Actually,
Yep.
So that's another thing that I was going to bring up during this. So I finally got into a gene that you guys are into, and that's another thing I'm going to stick into Ultramel this year. I finally got some Asphalt. I got my Super
Oh,
Asphalt
nice.
nail coming into some Ultramel girls.
Nice.
It gave me a little
And
bit of a
cheap
rough
plug-
go at
cheap
first.
plug. Whoa, that was a cat, and that was my iPad. Oh, that's probably
Which
broken
plug on
now.
where I got the Asphalt? Because I got that from an awesome person.
Mordex Ball Pythons, Michelle and Paul. They've been on the show before. Guys, go give them a follow. Mordex_ball_pythons. We actually might be going up there, not this weekend, but next weekend. Yes, like the 18th, 19th-ish. So we might be actually having a live from up at their place very soon. That's the reason I wanted to bring that up.
Nice.
That said, continue. Super Asphalt. Sorry about that.
No, that's awesome because she was great and helped me out a ton.
Yeah.
Paul and Michelle are
Michelle's
awesome
amazing.
people. Yeah. And so at first, when I first got him, he was a bit of a jerk because, well, when he came here, you could clearly see from Michelle's house, he ate great. He was ready to go. He came
Mhm.
here and was just like, "You have food? That's not happening, bud. Oh, locking?
no.
Yeah, that's not happening either. Have a good one." So I pounded some mice to him finally. He took, in the past couple weeks, he took like 6 or 7 mice. So
Which clutch did he come from?
I'm not exactly 100% sure. I know he's 66% het G-stripe. Does that
Okay,
help at
I know
all?
exactly which clutch he came from then. Perfect. No, that's sick. Do you have any G-stripe?
No, but I do have a couple Ultramel and head Ultramel females that are also 66% heads. So it gives me something
Nice.
to kind of play around with there too. Honestly,
And,
I slept hard on the Ultramel G-stripe, and then I seen an Ultramel G-stripe this year,
Mhm.
and I gave my face a slap. Was like, "What did you do? Like, you had the opportunity to do this. What did you do?"
So
It's
that
amazing.
brings me actually into another point. We have a mutual friend that's helped us both out a ton. Brad.
Yes, Brad. He's a good guy.
Yeah. And unfortunately he's got to step away from the hobby right now. But our first clutch coming from the stranger, I'm just trying to tie conversation together here. Nick and I picked up a pastel hypo G stripe from him back in, I don't know, May, I think.
Yeah, early 2021.
Any
Anytime
day
I
now,
grab some
he's
stuff.
going to lay our first clutch from our stranger and I'm over the damn moon. I'm so excited.
That's a cool clutch.
Yeah, so it'll all be like
Crazy
clutch.
clutch.
It will be
Holy.
100% hypo clown, 50% het, or 100% het. Hypo G stripe. Sorry, I don't even like saying the word G stripe. Kind of gets caught in my throat. 50% het clown. And what's really funny about that is I was never ever excited about G stripe ever. I've actively gave people shit for liking G stripe actually.
Same. Yes.
And someone sat me down recently, and I'm actually like, my entire plan for that project was to keep one male back and any females, and then just sell the rest of the males off. And I don't think I'm going to get like 100 eggs, obviously, but like, I wasn't expecting much. I was actually doing the pairing to make a stranger het hypo pos het clown for my hypo clown stuff.
Fair enough.
I wasn't even using the hypo G stripe for the G stripe. And the more that I've thought about it ever since the first time I paired them, the more I've gotten excited about it. And this is going to be the first time I ever say this, and people can record it if they want to. I think I'm keeping the entire clutch back. I'm actually really excited to see a stranger G stripe.
Once you get all males.
I don't even care. That's fine. That means I'll have all, well, unless I miss on stranger too, in which case then I'll just like walk off a cliff.
You'll feel like me. You'll feel like me.
Yeah.
Miss it all, hit all males.
If I miss stranger on everything and hit all males all at the same time, I'm done. I'm gone, guys. If I post a clutch cutting and that's what you see, then just expect you to never see me again. No, but I'm actually genuinely excited to see what that might do, because ever since the clown G-stripe stuff started coming out, I've seen G-stripe kind of come back into prominence, and I'm actually seeing some stuff that I don't hate. And it's mostly like the pattern disruptors with G-stripe and then another recessive.
Honestly,
So
the leopard yellow belly G-stripe stuff, it was really cool to see it just destroy that whole G-stripe pattern and make it was cool.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then the thing is, my boy is stranger leopard pastel yellow belly, right? So
Exactly.
The more I sat on it, and the more like it got to just sort of toil around in there, like it almost has made me come around to G-stripe, and I can't believe I'm saying that out loud. But like,
it grew on
I'm
you.
actually really excited to see what happens with this now. Like, it almost went from being a joke pairing to now like a passion project, which is really funny.
Do I need to remind you what I just picked up that nobody ever thought that I would, or
What's that?
like I have a clown. I have a clown. Nobody thought that would ever happen.
I'm still kind of angry you got that because I didn't know he had it.
I mean, it worked out in the long run.
This is for both of you, and we'll start with Nicole, just because I
Okay.
feel like I keep asking Nathan. How many
That's
clutches?
okay.
Wow. Yep. No. Okay. How many clutches are you expecting this year?
Well, it's my first year using the ultrasound, so now I have a much better idea. Right now I have 20 females over 20 millimeters. So that's hopefully
20 over 20 millimeters?
right now. Yeah. I have a couple I'm waiting for
Holy shit.
ovulations right now. And I have,
It's early
I'd say about 95% of the females I'm actively breeding right now are above like 14.
How many
So-
females are you breeding in total this year?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't even get close to answering the question. I might even 30 to 40 maybe this year. That's the high end, but it looks like it might be about that. After the move, I'm ecstatic about that. So I'm breeding
Yeah,
around 40. So
I was about to ask like how you were expecting the move to affect that, and the fact that things are still progressing is amazing.
yeah, it looks like it didn't bother anyone. And with my electrical being redone and having the temperatures drop and stuff, they seem to not be bothered. It might even be helping things. So we'll see.
Funny story. We'll get into this after I let Nathan answer. But Nathan, how many clutches this year?
I'm actually about the exact same. I paired 40-ish females so far, like total, or have plans to pair.
Okay.
So I've only paired about 20, and then I have another 20 waiting because they're not showing any signs of anything, and they're usually late layers. And then I think I
Same.
have 6 or 7 joint pairings, maybe a couple more with a couple friends,
Nice.
sent males here or there or girls here or there. So we'll see what happens in the long run. I know I don't have nearly as many as Nicole right now. I think I have like 6 or 7 around 20 millimeters. I have 2 that are in prelay shed that I'm not feeling the greatest about. You know, when they're in prelay shed and they still look real small, so you're kind of like, yeah.
I've
I don't know
stopped
about you.
worrying about that because every time that I've bothered myself with worrying about that, it's always been fine. And every time I've been like, oh, this animal's going to lay 1,000 eggs.
Yeah.
I've had such a slugfest in the past couple of years that as soon as I see that, I just get so worried because I'm like, I've seen this before. I know what's coming.
I mean, that's fair. So, what I wanted to touch on was, Nicole, you mentioned the temperatures not being ideal.
Ideal.
Yeah. So we moved our snake rooms around this year as well. Obviously, I had to move my snake room out of where it was, and we combined everything over at Nick's place. And when we did that, what we did was he has a house, and we took over the master bedroom because he's the one that rents the house. And we were in basically like a smaller bedroom before. That's where he was keeping his half of the collection. And then when I had to move my half over there, we moved everything over to a master bedroom. And we never took into account let's say the thermodynamics of the room. So we set everything up like we had set it up in the other room at Nick's place. And, you know, all our temps were reading what they were supposed to be, this, that, the other thing. It was great. But it turns out that because of where we placed the heater, the top half of the room was actually like 4 degrees warmer than the bottom half of the room.
Yeah.
But the animals that were at the lower half of the room when that was going on before, like, we got a fan in there. Obviously, it's a lot more consistent now. Those animals seem to be building earlier and quicker than we would expect them. And some of these are animals that laid last year, so we have an idea of like where they should be. And it's just made me question the whole, do they need the cold season thing? Because like I felt like us as a hobby have moved completely away from that. But no, I'm seeing evidence.
Corey swears by it. Corey straight swears by it.
Like,
well, that's what I'm figuring out now too. With the move and with my electrical being like screwed up, I can't heat my room, so I'm relying on the heat from the racks to heat the room. So it gets, sometimes when it's like really cold and it's windy, it gets down to like 68 degrees in this room, but normally it's around 72 to 73.
Yeah.
And I'm finding it there. It's 80 something in their tubs, right? So they're fine. But I think the fact that they can choose to go at the front of the tub where it's like 70 something or the back, I've always believed to give them the choice. That's why I kind of like a little bit bigger tubs, but it seems to be working. So
I think my stuff might be a little too warm. Like my ambient is just up there. Like my room constantly sits at 79, 80. Like all the
so
yeah,
here's what I was going to say, Nathan. It's funny that you bring that up because we keep our room at 80. That's what we've always done. And what we noticed was when we moved everything around, we moved our heater from on the floor to up on a shelf, and it was up about 4 feet. And basically from that 4-foot mark up, it was the temp we wanted, but below that, it was sitting, I don't know, like 70. Well, okay. It was like 72 to 73 below that. And then I was sitting like 78, 79 above that, right? And all those animals that were sitting at the cooler temperatures are the ones that we're seeing the early follicle build and progression out of, which is just, it's wild to me. Like,
They seem to really enjoy the cold. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, they're pretty resilient, and Corey's proven that years and years in a row. So,
but the thing that I find cool about what Corey does is it also kind of, I don't want to say proves, but it gives some evidence to the fact that cold temperatures, even over a few days, is not what makes these animals sick. A lot
if they're healthy going into it, they're fine.
Exactly. A lot of people seem to think that, maybe I had a draft from the window, or like,
I got my window open right now because it's too hot in here for me. So I open the window a bit. It's like the snakes probably love it for a bit.
Unless you're constantly keeping your animals at suboptimal temperatures,
right,
and not offering them the reprieve to do that. I don't think temperature has anything to do with it. It's gotta just be. I had to catch myself. I was gonna say it's got to be husbandry based, but like.
That's one of the factors, a main factor. Definitely.
Sickness and ball python, sickness and ball pythons isn't necessarily one-dimensional, so I had to catch myself.
And like, anyway. I got lots of stuff that's sitting on the floor level that it's constantly cooler. If you constantly have something in the very bottom of your rack that's kept a little cooler than everything else, and you never have an issue with it, that's got to tell you something.
Yeah.
My 3 first clutches this year, the 3 that are due in the next week to 2 weeks. All came from my bottom shelf.
See?
The hidden, I think I told both of you guys about this. The hidden gene Woma het pied female that she laid July last year. July. And she's ovulating right now.
That's amazing.
Nice.
Like, it makes no sense. Like, and she's in the bottom bin, dude. She's second from the bottom, sorry. So yeah, she's kept cooler, she's doing awesome, and this is probably 9 months after, maybe 10 months after when she ovulated last year. Like, she's going really early. Surprised me.
I'm wondering now more if it might be more beneficial to keep our rooms at cooler temps, ambience wise, and give them almost a little bit warmer of a hot spot. Because it seems like the cooler temps are only beneficial. Like, I haven't seen a downside yet.
Mm-hmm. Like, I've always had to heat my room in the winter, and I usually kept it around 75 in the winter. But now that I don't have that control, and it fluctuates between, like I said, 68 to 64 or 68 to 74, they seem to, I don't know, they're still hugging the cold side. I'm seeing really good development. I don't know. We'll see.
I wonder if cooler temperatures help them build follicles.
I'm thinking so. Why else would they hug the water dish all the time? They have to have some kind of instinct.
Yes, exactly. Oh, yeah.
They have to have some kind of instinct to be cold.
Well, because you got to think too, when they're building those follicles, just like a female who's pregnant, you know what I mean? They're going to go through these hot and cold spells, right? And they're going to want to stick the hottest part of their body that they could regulate right against the cool spot too, right? And this is also, I don't know for sure, but this is what I've always thought. I figured that the reason why I don't have an earlier season compared to why I have like a bit of a later season normally is because if you look at how our houses are set up in Canada, because it's cold as hell outside right now, we're pumping heat in here, right?
Oh, yeah.
But as soon as May, June hits and it's getting too hot, we're cooling everything in the house anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to feel that breeze from the air conditioner. They're going to feel the breeze from the vents and everything. All of a sudden, I got all these clutches in August, September every year. Well, that's 2-3 months after I just turned on my air conditioner. I wonder, you know what I mean? It's just like a natural cool to them.
Now, can I bring up another point? Only because I don't know how much this has been discussed, but like up here in Canada, I'm sure we've all experienced it. When you're in the winter and you're pumping heat in your place, your humidity in your house is fucking
dry
in the floor, right? We're all, even if you're not getting bad sheds all around, you're getting some, and you have to know that's at least impacting your animals, even if they're giving you full sheds, because it's drier than it should be, right?
Yeah.
You think that has any impact on follicular growth in females? Only because they're working harder at the time to go through their normal processes?
Well, I might find that out this year. I actually have to have a dehumidifier in my room. This new place isn't,
Oh.
there's no HVAC, there's no forced air furnace. It's all boiler systems. So my house is heated via hot water. And I was averaging 75 to 80% humidity in the actual ambient room. So I had to get a
Wow.
dehumidifier in here. And it's so I'm wondering, I have like really good sheds now. I don't have to worry about winter anymore. I actually have to worry about too much humidity, which is better, I guess.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so I guess I'll find out this year if that makes a difference.
Yeah,
well, and
so
I
Rick
will
and
say this: the one
ahead.
year that
No,
I
go ahead.
put a humidifier into my room was the year that I, like me and Chris were talking about, where like the year I put a humidifier into my snake room because I was worried about the bad sheds. I had, I think, what was it, 14 clutches of slugs? Like, it was insane.
Oh, really?
And I always,
Yeah, that
I
was
thought
a
about
bad
it
year.
like
I
this.
totally forgot about that. I totally forgot about that.
In Ontario, we always have what we call the humidex, right? And so it's this temperature outside, but because it's so humid in here, that adds to it. It makes it even hotter. So if my room always sits at 80 anyway, and my humidity was higher than it's supposed to be, it might have felt like 83, 84. So where are they running away from the cool? Where are they getting the cool spot? There's no cool spot. So I was always curious if that might have been the reason why I had so many slugs, but unless
That's
I'm willing to,
really
try
point.
it again in a year or two, it's
no, that's actually a great
that
point.
makes sense.
That's something I had never considered, because realistically, bad humidity does affect it affects us. So why would it not affect an animal? And even if it's not affecting technically the production of the eggs, if it's stressing the animal out, if it's making the animal feel overheated, that's enough to slug.
Yep.
Even if the eggs should be fine.
Yeah, stressing them out. They're overheated.
Really? Well, gonna go up there and fuck some shit up. That's rad. Don't get a Maine Coon, guys.
The best part, though, is when you look back, you just looked away. As soon as you look back at the cat looked away like, what? I ain't doing shit.
Yeah.
Nope, Rem's.
It knows.
Little troublemakers.
She's something else. Hey, Rem. Hey.
So I did say this. I'm going to take one quick little break. I'm going to make another drink. I'll be right back.
Go do what you need to do, buddy.
Is that all right?
I'm gonna drop you off and bring you back when you come back. All right. So, Nicole.
Yes.
Most exciting potential clutches here.
I have a female desert ghost leopard, 100% hypopide. She's at 20 millimeters, and she's bred to the desert ghost pied. So, half desert ghost pieds, and the other half will be desert ghost het pieds. All possible het hypo. That's definitely my most exciting clutch this year.
Gonna need one of those because I have a male that would work perfectly for that.
Yeah, I'm keeping 1.2 desert ghost pieds. Then I'll sell the rest.
I mean, that's fine.
We'll see if I'm that lucky.
No. We'll figure it out.
But knowing me, I'll probably keep them all.
We got Tom or Casey or both in the chat. What's up?
Hello.
Okay, so other than that, then give me your top three. Actually, like what are you really hoping goes this year?
I have a male hypo double het black axanthic desert ghost, possible het pied, and the female is a normal double het desert ghost black axanthic possible het hypo pied. She's only at 14 right now, but there's still time.
Wait, is that must have been the girl that we were talking about yesterday?
Yeah, it was the one recently when
you said you had a chance at making the visual potentially.
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
So that would be really cool if everything proves out. I mean, knowing me, I'll probably hold back everything. I don't know. We'll see. Number 3 would probably be. Okay, it's gonna be a tie. I'm just gonna break the rules right now. Blackhead.
Go for it.
Blackhead pied to a banana pied female. Really simple project, but I just think that's a really simple pairing. But come on, that's really cool.
Why has no one made a blackhead banana pied yet?
Justin has a couple on Morph Market right now. They look amazing. I love it. And the tie on that would be a blackhead pied to a blackhead Mojave leopard Enchi pied. So I really want to see super blackhead Enchi Mojave pied. Would be cool from that. Yeah.
Oh, super blackhead combo pies, I think, are going to change the pie game.
Justin just posted those again too, and I'm very happy with how they turned out.
Yeah, I'm
so.
trying to not watch what Justin's doing right now because it's hurting my feelings.
I know it's. I mean, I know it's not a race, but we'll never catch up. We'll just keep doing our own things.
Well, I mean that's why I'm trying to do the Stranger Krypton stuff, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, I know Justin's going. I know he's getting there. I'm just hoping I beat his YouTube video.
Outside the box.
Like,
I didn't even think about any of my Monarch stuff. I have Monarch stuff happening too, but
okay,
it's just
well,
double
here,
heads.
get two
The
more.
exciting
two
stuff
more,
will be
two
down the
more.
line.
Pick two more that are outside of pie.
Well, oh. Well, then the Monarch to the pastel butter Desert Ghost. She's over 20. So I'm hoping for Monarch Desert Ghost double hats. And not pie. You know, most of my stuff is pied. Oh, super chocolate enchi hypo to a super enchi fire hypo. That's pretty fun too. she's
Ouch.
actually over 30. She's gonna ovulate probably soon. That one.
Damn, that's amazing.
I'm excited.
Oh my god. So I'm hoping to have some Leo pewter DG 50% het pies this year.
Nice.
It all depends if my female goes. She skipped last year. But yeah, we have a Leopard Desert Ghost het pied, plus het TSK Xanthic, plus het Cryptic, going to a pewter het DG.
Nice.
So,
Oh, I keep
yeah, that'll be
forgetting
fun.
about stuff, man. Yeah, blackhead, double het Desert Ghost pied to blackheads. 2 females. They're both over 20 as well.
Wait,
So,
what?
Yeah, blackhead Desert Ghost possible het pieds. I'm going to keep everything with tracks. All females.
Jesus.
That's the
Okay,
plan.
well, sell me one without tracks. I still want one.
Okay.
We got Nathan back. What's up, buddy?
Welcome back.
Had to make a drink quick.
Hey, man. It's all good.
So I brought mine. I'm already halfway done.
So, Nathan, what are some, let's say, obscure genes that you're working with that you haven't mentioned yet?
The newest stuff I picked up, I think some of the Rio stuff. I picked up Rio, or well, no, I don't have Arroyo. I only have 1.1 Rios. So I have the newer stuff for me is Rio, Stranger, Acid. I'm looking at white lace stuff. I really like it. But everybody I've messaged so far isn't too keen on shipping to Canada, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to figure that part out.
Tell them you'll take care of it all. Just that all they have to do is just ship and then contact Sam. That's what I do.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Just ship to New York, right?
And then
Yeah.
you do the rest.
Awesome. That's what I figured.
Yeah, it's very, very easy.
It's changed a lot, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've
absolutely.
only had one person refuse, and I was actually really, really upset because it was VPI, and I'm like, man, please just ship me this
VPI
animal.
refused?
They're like, we don't ship to Canada. I'm like, look, I'll take care of everything. Like, I got an importer.
I've had some old school people that were the same way. They were just
I was so upset.
I,
It was the perfect black Xanthic female. I've been looking for one for years, and I was just like, please. And then they stopped messaging me back.
Yeah, but now you're gonna blow them out of the water because they fucking said no. So.
Whatever. It's it's their choice. If they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it.
yeah,
But
it sucks.
the thing that bothers me about that is, though,
I don't mean to name drop or anything, but it's not a huge deal.
no. But the thing that bothers me about that is if somebody is like, "Hey, here's a sale. You don't have to do any extra work." Why would you turn that down?
Yeah. They probably thought it was a huge thing and just didn't want to deal with it,
I mean, I guess. Paul, dropping a comment here. You need to prove that had TSK out. So, I guess the belief is that TSK and MJ are the same.
Oh, has Mark not tried that yet?
No.
He just tried VPI, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I have been harassing Michelle for a lightning pied female this year,
Nice.
specifically for our Leo DB.
Makes sense.
That TSK Xanthic Posse Cryptic, right?
I thought you said you weren't a huge fan. Like
I'm
yesterday.
not. I don't want it. Listen, I don't want it. However, I know Michelle is a very nice person, and she won't. I mean, she'll charge me what it's worth, but she won't kill me over it.
Yeah.
And knowing that that animal is what it is will be a lot more beneficial to us in the long run because
Makes sense.
I would have never considered actively chasing MJA axanthic in pied. But if a male we already have that's already gone to a bunch of our holdback females proves out,
Yeah.
it changes some shit, especially with what Justin shared with the axanthic DG clown. Right?
Yeah, it was cool.
It's going to be really hard to pass up that opportunity. So
Makes sense.
And then
That's
obviously at some point we have to put that animal to a clown to see if it's that cryptic, because that's amazing too.
It leaves
From
lots
what
of-
I have heard, Cody, somebody can prove me wrong, but
Oh, now you started a rumor.
No, me and Nicole talked
I've
about
asked
this
a
this
lot
week.
of people.
Too many damn rumors out there. Prove it.
Yeah,
right?
Facebook's going to start blowing up now.
Good. Okay, so Nathan, wow, this covered the entirety of your thing. I'm going to take it away for a second. But what do you think is a staple non-recessive that every collection needs at least one of?
Cypress.
Oh, good one.
Cypress was the first gene that I invested in, invested good money in. And the craziest part, still to this day, I have not made any Cypress. I have two overly ready to go females that should hopefully do something this season. And I have my Cypress Fire Ultramel male that has been touring my whole collection this year. So he's doing amazing.
Nice.
This is the Cypress year.
I feel
What about you,
hoping
Nicole?
to make some.
Oh,
Pardon?
sorry, man. I thought you were done. I said, what about you, Nicole? Sorry, Nathan.
No worries.
Well, I would
What about you,
say
Nicole?
Hurricane. I know, pretty biased, but so far it seems to work with every recessive I've seen it with. It's got a nice super. It seems to work really well. I love the gene.
Great question.
GHI, yeah. Mariah.
Yeah.
We all know Mariah's going to say GHI.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're now a fair bit over an hour here. So I'm going to jump into my favorite question. If anybody has any more questions in the chat, please
Come on,
drop them
guys.
now. Otherwise, we're going to wrap this up very shortly because, as usual, I need to eat. I've been smoking all day, and my back is on fire, and I've been drinking. I need food. So, guys, if you have any questions, drop them now. And Nicole, you're answering this too, but we're going to go to Nathan first. If you could remove one gene from the entire hobby, from everybody's collection, what would it be? And would that change if it was restricted only to your collection?
I mean, I know what I kind of want to say, but it's going to be a very unfavorite thing.
Do it.
So I just remove clown. Too many people chase it. Too many people are doing the same things over and over. But again, it would change if it was just with my collection because I don't have that. So the one thing that I think I would take out would be lesser. I love very little lesser combos. It's hard. It's hard to make anything with the super form. You're scared to do a super of any sort. And honestly, when I pair anything lesser to anything else, I'm hoping to not hit it. So to make my double het Sentinel Ultramels, it was a lesser Sentinel male times an Ultramel female. And I only hit one lesser out of 6 eggs, and I cheered, and I cheered, and I cheered. I was so happy. I was like, thank goodness. I did not want to get 1.1 at all.
This guy, I'm taking him off everything. Fuck this guy.
Do it. Damn you.
Oh, Mariah's gone too. Wow, you guys suck.
Pim has
a
its
lot
place.
of people. Well,
Nicole.
I've had a lot of problems with pin. I don't completely hate it. It has its place for sure, but I've had a lot of issues. Okay, so
It's overpowering.
pinstripe, cinnamon, GHI, blackhead combination. Oh my god, it's such a headache. I think the one thing that's made it worse is my blackhead GHI male has the red and ringer stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
So still to this day, it messes everything up to the point like. So right now I have a cinnamon pinstripe ultramel male that, well, originally I said was blackhead pinstripe ultramel.
Oh no.
I'm not 100% anymore because the red and the ringer have messed it up. So it doesn't have that dark, rich tone that blackhead normally brings. But compared to my other cinnamon pinstripe ultramels, it's reduced. Like, it's crazy reduced. There's no pattern to it. So I don't know which way to go.
Who can I
So
hire
I decided,
to beat up Mariah?
Yeah, she just hates pinstripe combos.
Yeah, well, she sucks.
I mean, the one thing I will say, Chris, is out of all the clowns that I've hated forever, the pinstripe spot nose clown stuff you made this year is amazing. That made me look at clowns.
Oh,
and be
nice.
like, man, that's wicked.
Dude, you have no idea how much it fills my heart to hear that. Only because, like, I don't want to pump myself up, but I've heard it from a few people, and like the pin clown, like, dude,
It's not typical. That's the best part.
No, not even that.
typical.
But like, how close the pin clown stuff has been to my heart, and I kept missing and kept missing. And then I got that fucking
Even
club.
pin pied stuff. Pin pied stuff's awesome. The pin pied OD stuff that Nicole made this year, on point.
100%.
Thank you.
That stuff's
Like,
so nice.
You know that every time I tried, an animal wouldn't prove, or I'd miss, or like I kept getting fucked. And then that clutch comes, and
Everything.
you know what? I got way better luck than I should have. And I've had so many people be like, dude, I didn't know pin could do that. It's like, that's why I love it so much.
Here's your ugly brown snake. I think it's cool.
Those colors is so cool though.
She's a 2020.
That's basically an adult. Like, that's amazing.
She looks so good.
Yeah. I love her. Little paradox spot.
We're gonna jump into this question from Dylan, and then we're probably gonna start wrapping up. If you had to pick only one recessive to work, what would it be? And if you couldn't work that gene, what would be your second? Ooh.
That's easy. Pied, number 1. Desert Ghost, number 2. Definitely.
Ultramel and Sentinel.
Yeah.
I mean, unless we're going to go to something we don't have. Because if it was something we don't have,
that's interesting.
I would, because I would really like. Okay, I'll add that.
Let's do that too.
So maybe all of us
Yeah.
can
I
answer that. If it was a recessive we don't have.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because honestly, if I could add one thing right now, I think I would add in, and I never thought I'd say this, but I want to add in Sunset for the pure fact that the Sunset Ultramel was made this year, and it is insane. And
Okay,
you
we're
know
not
for a
friends
fact
anymore,
that
but that's fine.
the one problem that people bring up with Sunset, it browns out. You know, it will never happen with Ultramel. It ain't going to brown out. It can orange out, but it ain't going to brown out.
Yeah, to orange out.
But what happens when it does brown out?
It gets a darker, richer, nicer orange. Honestly, that's why pastel and ultramel work so well. People hate pastel. My pastel ultramels look amazing at 2,000 grams because they just get darker.
I know. I love
it's awesome.
Love pastel.
Pastel's such a good gene.
I love pastel.
It's OG. It is.
Use it properly
so
and it does awesome stuff.
Yeah.
And I love pastel. I think the people that shit on pastel are the ones that don't know how to use it properly.
Yep. Or they're just regurgitating info from other people, really.
Okay, what Nathan brought up was a good question, Nicole.
It was, yeah.
A recessive you're not working with yet.
So if I could only choose one, it would probably be
really cool pastel pie.
Nice. It's between probably puzzle and paint.
I like paint.
I probably
Puzzle's
choose
like,
those two.
See,
Yeah,
so
I know, I'm not, but
I gotta ask you
I
guys,
have
what
everything
do
I
you
like.
guys like better for a name? Do you guys like paint better than Sentinel?
I
No,
like paint because it's
Sentinel
easier to
sounds way
say.
cooler.
I have a hard time saying Sentinel. I prefer paint.
The reason that it sounds so corny, the reason that I paint over Sentinel, and I got told, no, you have so much Sentinel stuff, work with the Sentinel. I like it called paint just for the reason you could say, paint it all, paint the world, paint it up.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds so much better than being like, mix
Yeah, I
the
do prefer
Sentinel in
paint.
there. And we can't deny, Justin came out and said, oh, he made paint clowns, so that's going to be more popular right away.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. I have both, but they mix together the same, so you got to pick and choose.
Yep.
How big is my GHI pie now?
There you go. Yep.
I think, honestly, he's 300 grams. He's a bit of a dick. He loves rat pups. When I try to give him weans, he hisses at them and hides. I could give him a pup every 5 days. He'll eat a pup, but second I try to give him a bigger meal, he starts just hissing at it and runs away. He's a bit of a douche.
I had that issue with an Enchi yellow belly special. Posset Monsoon female. Took me 4 years to get her to size.
At that point, you're almost curious, like, should I just put it on ASF? Because I know it'll grow so much better.
Yeah.
As much as I've hated and been scared of ASF, I just started feeding some animals steadily on them, and holy shit, like, they grow.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
Like, right now, we are sitting at keeping our like super active males on ASFs exclusively, and it's actually been working really well.
So right now I'm like this close to making acid ultramel stuff, but I have 3 different acid head ultramel holdbacks, and all 3 of them hit about 450, 500 grams, completely went off food. They won't do shit for me. I've tried mice, I've tried ASF, I've tried offering them everything. They're the pastel acid head ultramel, he's 525 grams, touring around the bin nonstop. So I'm like, oh, maybe he wants a girl. Throw him in with the girl. He hides in the corner. So I don't know what his problem is.
Yeah,
that probably won't be a project I finally hit this year, but I can aim for that for next year. That's okay. No rush.
Yeah.
And that's just that's unfortunately just part of the game, right? Like
yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like,
it sucks when you have a wide variety for them and they just can't pick what they want to do.
Yeah, like all my
they
males
have
are
all
off
the
feed
options.
right now.
They just
all of them?
All but 2. And I've offered ASFs, and they're like, no, would rather just go into a female's bin. So
wow,
they can do them.
Yeah, no. So the stranger was eating really well, but once we got a steady supply of ASFs from our free feeder company, we decided to change all of our super active males over, and for some reason, the stranger has just like, he was eating great on rats. And then we switched to ASFs, and he was like going for like a month, just hardcore. And he's of course, the only animal we have on ASFs exclusively while we're pairing him. And he's the only one that's like every couple weeks he's just like, no, fucker. Like,
yeah, it's frustrating, especially when you want to breed them, and it's like, damn it.
That's my Bongo ultramel.
Yusuf really, really wants you to answer this question, Nicole.
It's obvious. If I were to remove it from the whole hobby, it would be scaleless. From my collection, since I don't have scaleless, it would be probably lesser for the reasons that Nathan stated. Yeah.
Fuck lesser.
Yeah, I only have a couple animals with it, 3, I think, which I adore. But if I had to choose one gene, it'd be that.
All right, guys, we
Well,
are
because the
coming up
Mojave
on.
stuff makes cool combos. Bamboo makes cool combos. There's other BEL genes that I would
Exactly.
choose not to take out before. Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, when you say lesser, do you mean both butter and lesser? Do you think
Yes.
they're the same?
Yeah, they're the same. I just if I buy it as a butter, I breed and sell their offspring as butter. I just like to keep things separate.
That's fair.
Yeah.
What about you, Nathan?
I'll probably sound dumb, but I think they're a little bit different.
Well,
That's fine.
that's why the conversation's
more-
there to begin with.
Everything that I bought that's had butter has more gold. Like everything that has lesser, I find is more like, I guess, beigey brown, where the butter stuff has a more golden tone to it. Or everything
Honestly,
that I have anyway. So
It's kind of like
I don't know. It could be
Desert
line
Ghost
breeding
and
as well
Enhancer.
too.
Right, yeah. Like I feel like enhancer
Yeah,
is to butter
yeah.
as lesser is to desert ghost. Like they kind of have the same kind of feel that
Yeah.
in that regard. It's more yellow.
Yeah,
in the
they
enhancer
do.
of
They
butter.
do the exact same
Yeah.
thing, and they're compatible and everything. But the enhancers to me hold a little bit more yellows and brighter tones,
Right.
where the desert
Oh
ghost
yeah, for sure.
almost
It's more
has
like
a
a
more
gray tone.
xanthic-y.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Desert Ghost holds the blacks better, whereas Enhancer
They do.
holds the blushing better, for sure.
Yep. I prefer desert ghost, definitely.
Me too, all
Yeah.
the way. All right, guys. Well,
I
we
haven't
are
gotten
coming
into
up on-
either yet.
Yeah, well, you got to do that. Stop slacking.
Wow.
I mean, my space is so damn maxed with Ultramel. I think I have like 60, 70 Ultramel project animals at the moment.
Yeah, well, stop doing that. That's a lot.
I'm a bit of a hoarder. After this season, some decisions are going to have to get made, and I'm not going to like any of them.
Same.
Just saying.
Same.
Yeah.
It's like, so this week I just sold my first ever like female that ever laid eggs for me. It was kind of heartbreaking, but it's just, I
Oh,
couldn't keep her
that's
anymore.
brutal.
yeah.
Yeah.
4,000
I'm gonna-
gram pinstripe had hypo, and like she laid me my first clutch ever. She laid me another 10 eggs later, and honestly now I just, even though she lays huge clutches, hopefully she does awesome for the people I sold her to, but I don't need that at the moment.
Yeah. It's sad.
My
I'm gonna have to make
space
that
is so
decision.
limited. Like my space is just so limited.
And that's I think the problem we all run into, right? Like,
Famous last words. If I had one more rack, if I just had one more rack,
if I could get one more spot in here, yeah, I get it.
yeah.
All right, guys.
I mean,
we've gone
I
an
have
hour
a
and a half.
closet with my incubator in it, and I thought about sticking a rack in front of the closet. It was like, well, if I need the incubator, I can just move the rack.
Dude,
Oh my God.
Dude, we literally had to repurpose the entire room that we're using now because that was my original plan. I was like, I'll put the incubator in the closet and I'll put a rack in front of the incubator and I'll just move the rack when I need to get the incubator. It wasn't logical. So
Not a good idea.
Yusuf is loving
Logic
that
isn't.
you are
Yeah,
Logic is
he
the
is.
best thing.
Nathan, Yusuf is loving that you keep interrupting me trying to end this.
Live will go on forever.
No, but honestly, it's been an hour and a half.
Maybe
and
for an
I-
hour and a half. Hold on. We need 1.5 minutes. We're almost at an hour and a half. Come on.
Yeah, man.
1.5
come on.
minutes.
Silence.
It's your fault you
One-
don't
one
eat
more
before
question.
the thing starts.
Okay,
I
but
feel like that's your excuse every week. You're like, I gotta eat. Okay.
excuse
You can
who
look through the
before
Uber
7 o'clock?
Eats list
That's
right
like
now.
dinner. That's like second lunch. That's not the same.
Man,
You got the stuff to
Yeah,
make
they're
a
fucking
sandwich?
weird.
right? I don't know, I'm gonna have like
We're-
1,000 square feet of space at the end of the year, so I'm hoping I'm not gonna go overboard.
Wait, what?
So we're just gonna send our stuff to
Yeah.
Nicole's.
I'm redoing. I have an unfinished basement that I'm gonna turn into the whole snake facility. I just got
You're
my
gonna
quote.
convert your entire basement?
Yeah, I just got my quote to finish the basement
amazing.
yesterday, and I'm getting booked in for May, and that's when construction starts.
That's pretty fantastic.
So by next 2024, wait, what year is it? 2023? It should be all moved down there.
Then. I don't think you've ever seen me eat. I can't do that.
Well, there's the first time for everything.
He might end up making extra money. What are those things called? Like the eating videos?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, the ASMR.
Oh man, I hate
No,
those
the
so
other
much.
ones.
People have like kinks when they see people eat stuff on
Yeah,
camera.
those
legit, legit. I
mukbang
almost
or
made
something
myself.
like that, where they just eat all crazy. And
I almost made myself popcorn before we went live because I was so hungry, and I was like, I'm not going
we
to
made
do
it,
that.
guys. We made it. We
Woohoo!
did it.
1 second. There we go. Now we'll go.
I'm glad that we broke what you needed to accomplish in this live.
Well, I felt I had to keep interrupting.
Yep.
I appreciate you having me on, Krish. I really do. It was a great time.
Sorry, now I'm just laughing at the comments. It's too good. No, both of you. Oh man, no, this was super fun. I apologize if I was a little loopy. Unfortunately, like I said, my back has been demolished since yesterday. So, yeah.
Your gray's showing.
Right?
I know. It's so bad. Like, before it was like just 2 lines over here, and now it's just like taking over the whole thing.
The back pain makes it show more, don't you know?
I know, right? I'm so fucking old. I hate it. No, but honestly, both of you guys, like, thank you so much for coming on. Nathan, I know this is a big deal for you, so thank you for making it happen. Obviously, you know, we've been trying to make this happen for a while.
I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I stopped being scared
I told
being
you.
social.
Now that it's happened, though, you're going to have to come back on because I've been waiting for this to happen. I kind of want to use this as an opportunity to invite some people that, you know, might think they're a little lesser known.
I mean, I seriously think eventually in the next little bit, me and Mariah and you need to throw a show together.
Absolutely. And
I really do.
I think we are probably leading to like a Southern Ontario group of breeder like show at some point. And
Cool.
I don't know how to do it quite yet. I'll figure it out. But there's a lot of really cool people.
But don't stretch yourself too thin, man. Don't do too much. Like you don't want to take on too much.
Dude, I sit here and drink.
Yes. Fair enough.
It's not hard work.
It's fun. Why not?
Exactly. No. But honestly, like, one of the entire points of starting the show originally was to eventually start highlighting people in our area, like Southern Ontario breeders, and kind of interdispersing those shows with people a little more notable, right? So I'm hoping moving forward that I can start doing that a little bit more. And I don't think necessarily you need the exposure. Like you kind of have the animals that speak for themselves, but I know there's a lot of people up here that could definitely benefit from it. So I would really like that to be a thing that eventually comes to pass.
I mean, I'm glad I broke that barrier and seen how bad or how good it was, and it was a lot better than I thought.
Here's the thing, though. You're the only one that thought this wouldn't be good.
No, I just overthink everything, dude.
That was the same way.
It was like 3 hours ago. I was asking you for the link so I can make sure that it works.
I know.
I'm so bad at technology.
Literally talked about it when she jumped in here.
Yeah, man. I'm so bad at technology. I'm just like, man, I got to figure this out way beforehand because if not, I'm just going to stress about it.
Dude, I promised you it would all be real easy, and I think it probably was.
It worked out way better than I could just click on it on the computer.
Yeah, it's super easy.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
I appreciate it.
I'm going to let you go. Nicole, Nathan, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. If either of you have anything to say before I drop you off the screen, feel free to take that time now. And then I'm just going to do a quick outro.
Eat something that's healthy. Your mother would say so.
I will probably eat pizza.
Good enough.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
See ya.
See you guys.
I appreciate it.
All right, guys. As always, super great time. fucking two of my really, really good friends in the industry. Obviously, you know, we have Nicole and Nathan on. But I cannot end this show without advertising our first ever Wednesday night live. We have Garrick DeMeyer on next week on Wednesday, first ever Wednesday night live. Same time, same place, different day. So, guys, please jump into that one. It's going to be a fucking great time. And, you know, as always, I will have Nicole and Nathan back on because I like advertising my friends and I'm kind of selfish. So have a great Friday, guys. Peace out. Enjoy your night.